up, guys? It's the John Gaz. I'm coming at you today with another episode of Secrets of Cinema, and today we are talking about a movie that has a very special place in my heart. We are going to be talking about the highest grossing film of 1980 and the 12th highest grossing film in North America, adjusting for inflation, of course, and the second highest grossing Star Wars film domestically with an adjusted inflation of over $780 million as of 2014. Voted number 8 in Total Film's 100 Greatest Movies of All Time, and voted number 3 in Empire Magazine's 500 Greatest Movies of All Time. Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. This movie is probably, if not definitely, the greatest Star Wars film ever made, you guys. Whether you like Star Wars or not, you can't deny that this is a great film, and that is why we are talking about it today. Did you guys know that Darth Vader was voted number 3 on AFI's list of 50 greatest villains of all time? And this film has him in it, and way more than A New Hope did. Something that I found pretty crazy about this movie, especially because of the Battle of Hoth, it has the lowest body count of all the Star Wars movies at 30. Only 30 people die in this whole film. That's so great, you guys. That's so positive. As I've told you guys in other episodes of Secrets of Cinema, I absolutely love script changes. And of course, like any good movie, this movie features some as well. For example, the character of Lando Calrissian was originally going to be a clone who escaped the Clone Wars along with thousands of other clones and founded a city on the planet of Bespin where Cloud City is. And originally his name was going to be Lando Kadar. I'm really happy it's not, because Lando Calrissian is a way cooler name. And actually, and this is a huge change, in Lee Brackett's original script for the film, Darth Vader was not Luke's father. The film actually did feature a spirit version of Anakin Skywalker who taught Luke the ways to use the Force. The essence of teaching from Anakin was actually used for the Yoda character, and the idea of Anakin returning as sort of a Force spirit was used on Obi-Wan Kenobi. Something that I already knew but I still think is a great observation is that Han Solo is the only non-Jedi and non-Star Wars character in the original trilogy to use a lightsaber. He uses it when he cuts open the Tauntaun on Hoth and shoves Luke's body inside. Do you guys remember the infamous asteroid field scene where the Millennium Falcon is ducking and curving around the asteroids and then lands in one? Well, actually, one of the asteroids in that asteroid field is a shoe, and another one is a potato. Definitely look for it next time you watch the movie. Probably one of the more interesting facts on this list is that part of the reason Han Solo was frozen in carbonite was because they weren't sure if Harrison Ford was going to return for the third film, now the 6th film, Return of the Jedi. And actually, Harrison Ford just wanted George Lucas to kill Han Solo off altogether. You guys know how Yoda has kind of an interesting way of speaking and it's kind of fun to imitate? Well, the way he structures his sentences are in object, subject, verb order, and there actually are a few languages on Earth that structure their sentences the same way. For example, instead of saying John is sitting on the chair, you would say, on the chair, John sits. Something I had no idea about was that this film is the only film where a true life-size version of the Millennium Falcon is featured. In every other film, they only build certain parts of it that are going to be featured in the shot. I've got a couple of what I think are interesting sound effect facts for you guys. The sound of Darth Vader's door shutting on his space shuttle is actually the recorded sound of an entire cell block on Alcatraz closing the doors at once. And the sound of Darth Vader's helmet being lowered onto his body is actually someone putting their hand over a vacuum while it's sucking in dust. Just more proof that sound guys can do anything and definitely deserve more credit than they get. This is a really small and kind of dumb fact, but I thought it was just kind of cool. In the beginning of this film, Luke is upside down in the Wampa Cave. In the middle of this film, Luke is upside down again on Dagobah. And in the end of this film, Luke is hanging upside down under Cloud City. And he actually uses the Force every time he's upside down in this movie. Something that I had never noticed before, but the majority of the shots in the lightsaber duel and the carbon freezing chamber are focused on Luke. The reason for this was that the stunt guy who was playing Darth Vader couldn't wear Darth Vader's helmet because it made it hard for him to breathe and do the stunts. Something I thought was kind of interesting that I had never noticed before was that this is the only Star Wars movie that does not have a scene that takes place on Tatooine, though it is mentioned by name. Something that was mind-blowing to me was that Yoda's full name is not Yoda. His first name is actually Minch. His full name is actually Minch Yoda, and that was originally going to be his name in the script. Something that's kind of a small detail but is interesting to me nonetheless is that one of the directors, Irvin Kershner, decided that the Rebel Alliance would speak with American accents and the Empire would speak with British accents. He did this to kind of mimic the American Revolution. Now, for a fact that's pretty stupid, the novelization, the book version of Empire Strikes Back, was released a month before the movie was. And the book did nothing to hide the big twist ending that Darth Vader was Luke's father. So if you read the book before you saw the movie, you would have basically had the whole thing spoiled. Kind of a common fact and a bit of a trademark of Star Wars is saying the phrase, "I have a bad feeling about this." It's said in every movie, and in this movie, Princess Leia says it. Now I have 2 more facts for you guys, and these are probably my 2 favorite facts, and then I'm gonna let you go. You guys know how in the battle with Darth Vader cuts off Luke's hand and it falls down that big shaft? Well, in the extended universe, the Emperor actually has the stormtroopers go down and recover the hand and the lightsaber, and he keeps it as a trophy. And he actually uses the hand to clone a dark version of Luke. And also in the extended universe, Luke battles the clone and kills it and then takes the lightsaber back and gives it to his wife, Mara Jade. Now the last fact I have for you guys is my personal favorite, and that's because it corrects an often wrong quoted myth about Luke Skywalker, or more appropriately, Mark Hamill, the actor who plays Luke Skywalker. A lot of people say that the Wampa attack on Luke was written into the script as a way to cover up scars that Mark Hamill had received after a serious car crash he was in. And that's actually not the case. Mark Hamill did get into a pretty serious car crash, but it was 2 years before the filming of Empire Strikes Back, and by the time they started rolling, all the scars had faded. I actually got into a pretty serious argument with my dad about that one. Rude things were said. But anyway, you guys, that was 25 facts that I had to share with you about one of the greatest movies I've ever seen, Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, and I really hope you enjoyed them. And if you didn't, buzz off, please. Anyway, as always, I've got to ask for you guys to do me a couple of favors, just so I can get some solid feedback from you guys. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if I'm doing anything right or wrong. Please reassure to me that you guys are enjoying these videos, and if I'm kind of keeping you here and talking too much, let me know that too. And when you're done with that, if you want to be a truly dedicated fan and stay in touch with what I'm doing between uploading videos, make sure you follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and like my Facebook fan page. If you don't want to do that, totally cool, but I have to say I post some really, really good stuff, in my opinion. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you coming here every week to listen to me ramble on about some of my favorite topics. I will be seeing you all on Tuesday of next week. Thank you for stopping by, and stay fresh.